Now, the Caretaker Extraordinary Convention Planning Committee of the Governing All Progressives Congress has officially approved the recommendations of its Committee on Zoning Arrangements for the next National Convention. According to the approved recommendation, the APC has zoned the position of its national chairman to the North Central Geopolitical Zone ahead of its March 26th National Convention. Aside from zoning the seat of its national chairman to the North Central, seats exclusively reserved for members of the 6 states in the sub-region include the national vice chairman. We have the deputies of the national secretary, national legal advisor, sorry about that, national publicity secretary, and all of that. Now we will go ahead to bring in Aliyu Audu, who is a member of the party, to talk about all of this zoning and how they will affect the presidential ticket of the party ahead of the next general election, especially with the party primaries coming up pretty soon. Welcome to the show, Aliyu Audu. You are the convener of the APC Rebirth Group. Is the APC undergoing rebirth at the moment? What do you make, first of all, of this, challenge between your party and INEC? Do you foresee the March 26th National Convention of the party being affected as a result of this squabble over the next meeting that is scheduled for next week?
Right. Thank you. First thing first, I think, yes, the party is undergoing a rebirth, and we are happy for that, and we are confident that the March 26th convention will happen. We have seen better leadership in the last few days than we've seen in, over 22 months. And it's basically, I think INEC as an umpire, it's, it's not to tell the party how to run itself, but the party has the constitution that guides us. The best INEC can do is to ensure, we go by our own constitution, which is exactly what we are doing. And at this point, it's, whatever communication that has to happen between the party and INEC will happen, because I'm confident that we will do everything we need to do from the next meeting to the convention.
Don't you think you're lagging behind, considering that INEC, from the tone of its letter, which we have seen today, sounds like it should have got a fresh notice for a national convention, and then the next notice should have been signed by the INEC recognized national chairman and the national secretary, which in this instance looks like it's Memala Buni and John Akpan, and not the people we have on ground now.
And there is a communication from Memala Buni transferring power to Alhaji Abubakar Sani Bello, and in that communication, INEC is copied.
But we haven't seen INEC agreeing to have received that letter or something like that.
It's a matter of maybe what gets to INEC first. We as a governing party will do everything by the book. We follow our constitution and we follow the constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So whatever hitches is happening, whatever the issue is right now, isn't anything serious, and that will be resolved between the party management and INEC. And our next meeting will hold, and our convention will hold as planned.
Do you think President Muhammadu Buhari needs to be, involved in all of these things that we're having at the moment, so as to calm frayed nerves and all of that? Because he's on vacation, medical vacation, but some people think that he just needs to speak out and help douse the tension that's ongoing. Whether that next meeting will hold or not, and whether this convention may be truncated by lack of adhering to INEC processes or not.
I really don't think there is need for Mr. President to speak on. We all know Mr. President isn't someone who speaks on everything or just act on impulse and speak on things. But clearly, I think he has done what he needs to do as a leader of our party. And we have a new leadership now. You are aware that over 6 months now, my group has been very, very firm on our call for the need for the previous leadership to take shape or be shipped out. True to it, we are glad. It took a while, but we are happy it's happening, and we have seen. There's you know, a renewed sense of, you know, confidence, hope, you know, in the leadership. I mean, you see what they've done in a few days. You know,
so
they've shown commitment.
Party members or a majority of party members are happy with the steps taken so far.
Oh yes.
By Governor Abubakar Sani Bello as the acting national chairman.
Oh yes, we are. Oh
okay,
yes, we are.
Interesting. But you are saying there's a new leadership change in APC. But some of your party leaders say there's no new leadership change. That Governor Abubakar Sani Bello is simply the vice chairman to Maimala Buni, and he's only acting in the absence of Governor Maimala Buni, who was the acting national chairman, or who is, if you may put it that way.
I agree. But someone is now acting. Someone is now our CEO on a day-to-day basis. Who wasn't that person as of last week, right? So that's a change. I mean, when the next meeting takes place, everything else will be, you know, will be resolved. But most importantly is that we have, in acting capacity, say it so, someone who is now acting the way they should have been acting.
Isn't it the same caretaker convention extraordinary planning committee? Isn't it the same? Because I mean, we haven't seen a change in all of these people. It's the same people who were there, but it's just that one of them, according to your party leaders, is acting on behalf of the former acting national chairman.
You see, the caretaker committee is same, but the leadership of the caretaker committee, I mean, we have someone who is now acting on the previous chairman's behalf. That role right now, that position that has been taken up by Alhaji Abubakar, it's something that has brought about confidence, hope in the majority of party members. And we are confident. Every other thing is just, you know, processes that need to be brushed up here and there. And we're
Don't you think a lot of APC members are confused? They don't know who to follow at this moment.
And that is why,
and especially if you listen to what Senator John Audu said. He said he's still waiting for his national chairman to return. What do you make of that statement?
I mean,
when there were rumors that he had resigned, he said, no, I haven't resigned. I'm still the acting national secretary of the APC, and I'm still waiting for my chairman to come back, despite attending meetings with Governor Abubakar Sani Bello. And in all of this that we're trying to understand what is happening, we hear there has been a letter sent to INEC which says Professor Tahir Mamman is actually the acting national secretary of the APC.
So the senator is well within his right to pick who his chairman is or should be. But as far as the APC is concerned and the caretaker committee is concerned, we have an acting chairman in Alhaji Abubakar Sani Bello, and that's that. And I think clearly on the secretary's part, there's been a vote of no confidence passed on him by the other members of the committee.
Is that in the public light?
I do not know. I am telling you this. I mean, if I were in a team with such a person, I would pass a vote of no confidence on him. So I expect the same has been done.
So you think the Audu has been edged out, just like Buni was edged out?
Has it been? No. I mean, a vote of no confidence being passed on someone. There's a body, we have an organ of the party, the NEC, whose meeting has been called now, that has the power to do all of this, delegated part of its power to the caretaker committee, who are acting, who have been given the powers of the NWC. So at that meeting on Tuesday, the NEC will take all of the necessary action that need to be done to put our party on the path of glory that we all want it to be.
What do you make of Governor Nasser El-Rufai's statement that Buni has been sacked and Akpan Udo there is nowhere? I mean, there's a new tone of leadership in the party. His statements here and there before we go to the issues of zoning and all
I do not think anybody has been sacked, you know, but I understand that, I mean, members of a committee have passed vote of no confidence on one of their members, who happened to be Senator John, and they are well within, you know, I mean, if a replacement has been nominated, all of that will be ratified at the next meeting. If there's a replacement for 2 positions or for 1 position, however it is, right now we have acting chairman in Alhaji Abubakar Sani Bello, who is acting on behalf of Governor Maimala Buni, who is away on medical trip. Then we have Senator John, whose colleagues have passed vote of no confidence on, you know, and all of this will be made formal. I don't think anybody is sacked. Nobody has the power to sack anybody.
So the NEC will ratify whether these people have been removed from the party or not.
Exactly.
Okay, interesting indeed. So we'll have to go to the issues of zoning now. What do you make of the zoning formula released by Governor Abubakar Sani Bello as the acting national chairman of the APC? I mean, we've seen this, the national secretary position going to the Southwest, national chairman position going to the North Central, and it goes on. I mean, the Southeast is being given the deputy national chairman South and all of that. What do you make of all of this?
That is our party. I mean, it gives me reason to be happy that I'm a member of the APC. You know, the fair play, the justice, and the equity displayed in this zoning arrangement, it's a testament to the fact that, you know, we are truly back, you know, on the path of progressive.
Why should the North Central have the national chairman position and the secretary position going to the Southwest? Some people had thought that the secretary position will go to the Southeast. Just like it's happening in the PDP, because some people even said that you just copy the PDP template where they zone all the things that were zoned to the South previously were taken to the North, and APC just seems to be copying that, and APC is also trying to work towards a consensus national chairman just like the PDP did.
Okay, first thing first, like I think in order to avoid, you know, some funny form of tinkering here on undue influence on who gets what was applied was just to flip position from the South to the North. You know, like everything the South had, you know, came to North Central. Everything the Southwest, you know, had to Northeast. Then, you know, like that. And there are a few positions that were changed for the sake of, you know, other configuration. You know, and by the time you look at the, you know, algorithm, everything that went into forming that thing, it's just bliss. It's just a display of fairness, justice, and equity that we expect our party to be. So we're not copying anybody. You know, we're doing you know, what we believe is fair by all, by individuals and by regions, and I think nobody has any reason to complain as far as this zoning arrangement is concerned. And on the point of a consensus candidate, this is me speaking. You know, I strongly disagree that we're going to go the way of consensus. You know, I think, you know, I believe that Mr. President and other stakeholders of the meeting are going to allow, you know, true internal politics, internal democracy to take place.
You prefer elections?
Exactly. The convention, my prayer, you know, my personal prayer and that of many APC members is for elective convention for every single position, because we want whoever, I mean, we are at the point of rebirth, you know, for a party. We want that legitimacy, that authenticity, that confidence.
Not that somebody was elected
exactly
somewhere.
We do not want anybody to say they were pressured to step down for another person. We do not want a chairman who won't have the confidence of looking at anybody in the face and being just and fair to all, knowing that he went through a fair process and he came out victorious, and we expect him to be magnanimous in his victory by carrying everybody along. But first thing first, you know, we must actually give this democracy the true test of, let people actually go test their popularity. Let's have reasons.
Isn't the president supposed to have some level of influence, like Governor El-Rufai said? If I have an influence in selecting a party chairman in my state, shouldn't the president be given the leverage to also have the opportunity to also have someone that he can work with as the national chairman of the APC?
The beauty of this all is that there is only one president, Muhammadu Buhari, and there will only always be one President Muhammad Buhari. He's not like the governors. You know, he isn't. You know, he went through electioneering in 2014, where he defeated the Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, the Kwankwaso, the Governor Rochas, and you know, imagine if he hadn't, you know, the confidence to stand, you know, at the Eagle Square to say, I am for everybody and I'm for nobody, wouldn't be there. He went through the test and he came out victorious. So he's confident that, you know, he's gone through the right process, not that some people use their undue advantage. So I know that the prayers of these governors is for president to do what they have done, but the reason he is the leader of our party, the reason many of us are in this party is because of him. We know his values are different from almost all of them, and we expect that he's not going to toe the line, he will do differently. And he has always repeatedly said.
And based on precedence, APC has always chosen its national chairman.
And how did that work out for us?
Consensus.
How did that work out for us so far? Maybe we should do things differently now.
We have Oshomole and all of that, but we just have to go do things differently right now. When we come back, we'll talk about how this affects the presidential ticket of the party and what this means ahead of the party's primaries. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Arise News. I'm Somna Sambo, and we've been discussing issues happening in APC, the zoning formula of the party, its issues with INEC, and party primaries ahead that will be coming up between April and June. My guest is still Aliyu Audu, the convener of the APC Rebirth Group, and I come back to you, Aliyu. Well, from the zoning formula release, we've seen people like former Governor Abdulaziz Yari of Zamfara State being edged out. Former Governor Aliyu Audu Sheriff of Borno State being edged out. People like Sonny Monidafe, who came from the northeast, all being edged out. Is the party doing anything to quickly assuage the feelings of these members, or how would they rally around to see what they can do to support the party? Because like Aliyu Audu Sheriff, he had insisted that he will go ahead with it.
Well, he's well within his right to, disagree with a general agreement. Because I mean, they are all politicians. They knew from day one that zoning will be key to who gets what. And while it's not in our constitution, like it's a gentleman agreement between stakeholders. If everybody else agrees and one or two persons decide, I mean, he can test his popularity. Yeah. I mean, I would even like that. I mean, more people buying form will be additional source of revenue for my party. Forms will be
sold to them. I mean, so that we don't have a situation whereby it's only people from the north side.
We are quite confident forms will be sold to everybody. And then you have
a situation where people go to court and they will nullify it and say...
That is why forms will be sold to everybody. So the party can make some money too.
Okay,
legitimate money.
Now let's go to the big issue here. With this zoning formula being released for party offices, there's a direction as to where the presidential ticket of the party will go. According to Malam Nasir El-Rufai, who's the governor of Kaduna State. Do you, from all of this, agree that the APC presidential ticket will go to the south?
I have said repeatedly on your program here that our presidential ticket will go to the south.
But some other members have disagreed with you, with people like El-Rufai, saying that El-Rufai, put the cart before the horse. Saying that the APC only zone party offices and that there's nowhere it is stated that the presidential ticket of the APC will go south.
You see, the thing is, while whatever Governor El-Rufai said isn't binding on anyone or the party, because, I mean, we have, our channel of communication from the party. And, but what he said is simply the truth. Any rightfully thinking, just and fair member of the party, whom that means well for the country, will know that naturally APC should zone our presidential ticket to the south of Nigeria after having it for 8 years. I mean, by the end of this second term, in the north. So it's just fair. So I don't know why anybody will think against that, but everybody
says zoning is unconstitutional, and there's nowhere stated in the constitution that any member of APC cannot contest. And that's why you have people like former governor of Zamfara State, Ahmed Yerima, saying that the constitution doesn't stop him. The APC constitution also doesn't stop him from purchasing tickets, form to contest for the APC ticket.
Like I said on the national chairman, it's the same thing. They are all welcome to buy form. I mean, they probably are so, sure of their popularity that they will defy a generally acceptable agreement. That's welcome. I mean, I don't think APC will take any step to stop anyone.
Would there be punishment for such an action?
No. Why would anybody be punished?
Yeah, isn't it going against the party direction? This is where the party says it wants to go.
You see,
for fairness, based on what you have said.
Zoning is at best advisory. Zoning is at best advisory. It's not...
But it's strong advisory.
Exactly. So whatever you do to exercise your franchise as a free born of Nigeria, it's up to you. I mean, the party cannot stop you, and the party will not penalize you. If you think you have the popularity, to upturn, like I said, a generally acceptable agreement, then by all means, go ahead and test yourself.
Interesting indeed. Now, let's talk about the issues of microzoning. If it's going to the south, what part of the south should actually produce the next presidential candidate of the APC?
The good thing is we have credible candidates from the 3 zones in the south. Across, we have credible candidates.
Yeah, but we've only seen people like Bola Tinubu, I mean, being the only strongest person going around, networking, talking. I mean, a very few of them, even Rocha Sokorocha, who are declared, it looks like he's not so strong at mobilizing people and alongside others.
The rest are probably working on the ground.
Is this being microzoned to the southwest?
No, I don't think so. The best of my knowledge, no.
So why does it look like the southeast and the south-south are all quiet, all watching how it's going? Because maybe they are reading the body language of the APC being that it has microzoned this to the southwest.
Then I'll tell you that it might not be in the media. I am aware that all of the other aspirants from the other regions have been working, and they're working day and night, you know, doing consultation and trying to get to people to sell themselves as a potential candidate for APC. It's not microzone to any region. Everybody is welcome from the south, even those in the north that want to test themselves. I mean, people are working on the ground.
And people like Audu say if it is zoned to the southeast, he will contest. But it has to be microzoned first to the southeast.
Perhaps that is his own measure of his popularity, that it has to be zoned to his side before he can contest. But there are others who believe, as far as it is coming, I mean, even when the ticket was zoned to the north in 2014, Governor Rochas contested. Was he penalized after that? No. He got his course, and from then he knew his popularity, he knew what he could do. So I don't think any party will stop anyone who wants to contest, and I don't think that the party will microzone.
Don't you think that the APC is being unfair to the southeast and the northeast, because these are the 2 regions? And some people also add the North Central when you talk about it, saying that when it comes to democracy, there hasn't been any presidential candidate of a bigger political party from the North Central and all of that. Now, don't you think that the APC is being unfair to these geopolitical zones, actually? Shouldn't the APC, looking at the political climate, zone to the southeast or to the northeast? Okay. Or maybe North Central?
Okay, for starters, from this zoning of the party, apart from the national, the APC has taken care of these 3 zones you've just talked about. The North Central, like you mentioned, is getting the national chairman. The Southeast, you mentioned, is getting the deputy national chairman, which is the second powerful position. Then that is Southeast. Then the Northeast is getting the deputy, national chairman, North.
Yeah, but those are party positions.
Those are big. Those are big positions. Those are heavy positions in the party. Those are party positions that are by weight above gubernatorial. They are by weight compared to the presidential and vice president. Mind you, we have our Senate president from the Northeast. I do not think any region is being...
As we try to coast home now, very quickly, what happens to the likes of Governor Yahya Bello, who is from the North Central, and he has been asking for a way to actually clinch the APC presidential ticket?
I plead the fifth on that.
Interesting, because you come from the state. All right, we must thank you so much. I see you're trying to dodge that question because you're from Kogi State yourself. We must thank you so much, Aliyu Audu, for the convener of the APC Rebirth, for joining us on the show to take a look at the APC zoning and issues in that party. Well, that's how it's been for this edition of the Arise interview. Do join us again tomorrow. From me and the entire team here in Abuja, goodbye and thank you for watching. I'm Somna Sambo.